I recently brought on a new client who hired me to help him grow his business. He has a Bitcoin mining business, and he is looking to bring on more customers and clients and also raise more money as well for the business. And for me, it was great because I love doing that. I love helping people grow and move through their blocks and limitations and make a difference in the world. And what's wild is, like, so many times what people come to me for, it's not the strategy, it's not the techniques, it's not sales scripts and the perfect languaging and the perfect objective handling. The piece that comes before that I help people with is not, again, the strategy or the techniques, it's the story and the state that I help them update and up level, so they actually, that doesn't even matter, the strategy. And what goes on in these situations is it's a total paradigm shift, because people think they know what they need help with, and it's usually not what they need help with, which is cool because that's where it's like magic when I help people and they get results really quick. And because it goes from focus on themselves, focus on their own orientation, to focus on the client's orientation, which we know intellectually to do, but it's easier said than done in practice. So it's really learning how to shift our focus and our nervous system and getting out of our heads and into our hearts and being focused on the client, right? What are their challenges? What do they want? What do they need? Versus, am I sounding good? Is this going to be perfect? Is the product right? Is the product ready? Um, are people going to think I'm aggressive and too forceful and shamelessly plugging myself? And this is where you get monumental gains, because when I work with people, I really start with that. And that's where right away he's already bringing on more customers already, which is awesome. And he's really seeing rapid results. And it's because of a few simple shifts that I help him produce in his mindset, going from being focused on himself to focus on the client, being in downtime versus uptime. If you don't know what downtime versus uptime is, downtime is more focused on, again, yourself, right? If I was in downtime right now recording this podcast, I'd be thinking in my head, oh, how do I sound? Are these people liking it? Is anybody even listening to it? Are people thinking I'm sounding dumb or making fun of me or whatever, right? Like, versus uptime, it's like those thoughts aren't even in my head. The thoughts in uptime would be, man, whose life am I touching right now by being on this podcast? How am I going to make a difference? How is it going to help them grow their business? How is it going to help them feed their family? How is it going to help them leave their legacy? How is it going to help them help their clients? That's uptime. And that simple, subtle shift is monumental, because it goes from focus on you to focus on everybody else that you're trying to serve and not being attached to your product. The biggest challenge most entrepreneurs have is falling in love with their product and not their customer. And I've been guilty of this too. And it's hard to do, because a lot of times entrepreneurs go into business because they just are so passionate about what they're doing. They're artists and they love what they do, but they miss the piece where, who are they actually serving? They have to fall in love with their client and their customers. Because if you fall in love with your customer, you'll never be out of business. But if you fall in love with their product, your product might not be useful in a year from now, 3 months from now, 2 years from now. Think of even the best products in the world that existed. Over time, they need to be innovated or they disappear and nobody cares about it anymore. So the thing I love about what I do with my clients is it really helps them shift their internal world, right? Their mindset. They have pictures in their head. They have thoughts going on. They have sounds they're making inside of their mental framework. And I help them update those in simple, subtle ways that really makes the difference, that makes the difference. So with bringing on new clients for my client in this case, I've really helped him shift out of that mode of, is the product perfect? One of his kind of big things is he feels uncomfortable with sales. He has negative associations with sales. He thinks, or he thought, not anymore, he thought sales was pushy and manipulative and people don't want to hear from him. Versus now we've rewired that to be, oh, sales is actually serving. Sales is actually I have something to offer. I'm inviting you into this thing that's going to really make a difference in your life. And now he's actually getting better and more excited about talking to people about what he does. And sales is also a transference of emotion. So before, even if he was having a sales conversation, people could feel it unconsciously in their body as they were talking to him. It's kind of like dating, right? If somebody's nervous or is focused on themselves or trying to get something from the other person, you could feel it. You could feel the scarcity and the neediness versus if you're not needy and you're not scarce and you're abundance focused, you're focused on them and giving and fun and awesome, and you have other people you're dating too, there's less attachment, less neediness. So same with this in the sales situation. If you're able to transfer that emotion, not the needy emotion, because that's going to turn people away, but you actually have this emotion of joy and fun and awesomeness and excitement and pleasure, that's going to attract people to you. So sales is transference of emotion. So when you're talking to people in a sales situation, talking to clients, talking even in your personal life, right? Everything is sales too. That's a deeper discussion, but sales, again, everything is sales because it's all influence. It's all transferring your vision. It's all about serving. So if you think of it from that way, everything is sales. But bringing it back in to the sales being transference of emotion, that's what it is. Think about it. The best salespeople, the best influencers, they're just transmuting these great emotions that everybody wants. Think of the most influential people in the world, the Richard Branson, Oprah Winfrey, Elon Musk, all these people, they influence mass amounts of people because they have great emotions. They're in a great state. People want to be around them. People want to, they're magnetic. So again, it's not the words you use. It's not even your product. It's you and how you're showing up and how the product and you make them feel that's really going to get people to want to work with you and buy your stuff and your services and your product. Sales is, it's also certainty, right? The amount of certainty you have about your product. And that's really how much do you believe in it? How much do you believe in yourself? How much do you believe it's going to make a difference? And a way to do that, again, more effectively is to focus not on you, but focus on how it's going to make a difference in their life, in your client's life, in the world, make an impact. And this is where you have to, again, really come up with the strong reasons as to why and why you're certain this product, your service, your product, your company is going to make a difference, is making a difference already in the world. So for me, for example, I know my coaching, it's already impacted so many lives, already saved so many people's lives, literally. And it's already made so many people happier, more fulfilled, free from pain. And I remember that. And I continuously remind myself. And I also ask clients this for feedback as well when I get testimonials. And I'm always stacking it. I love looking through testimonials from clients and reminding myself the difference I've already made in so many people's lives. So, and tracking that's a good idea. How many lives have you actually impacted already with your product or service? For me, it's already been hundreds, thousands of lives. So that's another really powerful way to improve this process to build more certainty in yourself about your product or your service. So takeaways, I'd say, number one, focus on your client, fall in love with your client, not your product or your service. Number two, remember to be an uptime and other oriented on, again, focus on them and uptime, right? What are their feelings? What are they doing? What's their body language? What are their thoughts? Not yours, right? Not what do you think about yourself? Focus on them. And then lastly, how can you, actually not lastly, second to lastly, selling is transference of emotion. So when you're in a sales circumstance, really channel that emotion you want to be in. If you think you ever studied Joe Dispenza, he says, be in that frequency, right? So get into that frequency of confidence, joy, excitement, happiness, whatever, gratitude, channel that. And you could feel that moment anytime you want. And if you don't know how to do it, go in the past or imagine a time in the future. Your brain is a powerful thing. You're just not using it to its maximum potential if you can't do that. And it's not hard to do that. We can talk about that on another episode if you reply back that you want to hear more about that. And then lastly, certainty. You got to build the certainty about yourself and your product and how it's going to impact your client's life too. So a way to do that, look through testimonials you've gotten, write down reasons why you know your product is making a difference in the world and in your clients' lives as well. So go out there, practice this. Remember, it's really reps, practice, time. Keep doing this every day, right? Tomorrow you get another day to practice this. And I wish I started business earlier. I started my business in my 30s. It's really just how much time do you have to practice building your business. If you start, or if you really want to build a business, if you start earlier, you're gonna have more practice time. So use these tools, master influence, master sales. It's the lifeblood of business. If you can't make a sale, can't get cash flow in the door, you're not gonna have oxygen to keep on going.